Dr. Alex Mercer stared at the screen, his eyes wide with disbelief. The pattern of signals coming from the Cygnus constellation shouldn't exist. He rubbed his tired eyes and checked the data again. "This can't be right," he whispered to the empty room. For 3 years, Alex had worked at the Colorado Mountain Observatory, scanning the stars for signs of extraterrestrial intelligence. Most days were filled with routine observations and disappointing results. Today was different. He reached for his phone and called the only person he trusted with this discovery. "Olivia, it's Alex. I need you to come to the lab right now." Dr. Olivia Grant arrived 40 minutes later, her curly hair still wet from the shower. She found Alex surrounded by printouts and coffee cups. "This better be good, Alex." "It's 2 a.m., she said, dropping her bag on a chair. "Look at this." He pointed to the main monitor. "These signals from Cygnus. They repeat every 18 minutes with perfect precision." Olivia leaned forward, her fatigue vanishing. "Natural phenomena don't behave like that." "Exactly. And look at the pattern structure. It's too ordered, too mathematical." They worked through the night, verifying the signal wasn't coming from Earth satellites or some cosmic anomaly. By morning, they were certain they had detected an artificial signal from deep space. "We need to inform the International Astronomy Union," Olivia said, pouring her 5th cup of coffee. Alex nodded but felt uneasy. Something about the signal pattern bothered him. "Before we do that, let's try to decode it." Using the observatory's quantum computer, they ran the signal through various decryption algorithms. On the 3rd day, they made a breakthrough. "It's a message," Alex said, his voice trembling. "And it's not friendly." The decoded message contained complex mathematical formulas and what appeared to be star charts. Most disturbing were the images showing planetary destruction. Earth's location was clearly marked. "They're coming here," Olivia whispered. "And they're telling us they're coming." Alex nodded grimly. "It's not just a message, it's a warning. Or worse, a declaration." They reported their findings to the government. Within hours, security teams arrived at the observatory. The facility was locked down, and Alex and Olivia were moved to a secure location beneath Cheyenne Mountain. General Frank Wilson met them in a conference room lined with screens displaying their data. "Dr. Mercer, Dr. Grant, explain to me why I should believe aliens are threatening Earth," he said. Alex pointed to the decoded images. "These show systematic destruction of planets. The mathematical sequences indicate time frames. Based on our calculations, whatever sent this message will reach our solar system in approximately 14 months. And there's something else," Olivia added. "The signal contains radiation patterns we've never seen before. Energy signatures that could only come from technology far beyond ours." The general's phone buzzed. He answered, listened briefly, then looked at them with newfound respect. "Observatories in China and Russia have confirmed your findings," he said. "The president is being briefed now." Alex felt a chill run down his spine. "General, what happens next?" "We prepare. If something's coming for Earth, we won't go down without a fight." That evening, as scientists and military personnel from around the world joined emergency video conferences, Alex stood alone by a window. The stars above looked the same as always, peaceful and distant. But now he knew better. Among those pinpoints of light, something was moving toward Earth, something that had announced its intentions. Humanity's first contact with alien intelligence wasn't a greeting. It was a threat. Commander Natalie Wright floated in the observation deck of Horizon Station, watching Earth spin below. The blue planet looked peaceful from space, but she knew better. The world was in panic since the alien message was made public 3 weeks ago. Her tablet chimed with a message: "Emergency meeting. Command center, now." Natalie pushed off the wall and glided through the station's corridors. In the command center, she found Director Gregory Martinez and 2 other officers waiting. "Commander Wright," Martinez nodded. "Meet Lieutenant Samuel Jones and Captain Daniel Peters." They exchanged quick handshakes before Martinez activated the display screen. Images of the alien message appeared alongside charts and diagrams. Our scientists have decoded more of the transmission, Martinez said. It's worse than we thought. These aren't just visitors. They're harvesters. Samuel, the younger officer, leaned forward. Harvesters. They travel from system to system, taking resources, metals, water, organic material. Martinez paused. Including people. Silence filled the room as they absorbed this information. How long do we have? Natalie asked. 11 months at most, Martinez replied. Every major nation is working on defensive systems, but honestly, we're not ready for this kind of threat. Captain Peters, a veteran of the Space Force, spoke up. What about Project Leap? Martinez frowned. That's classified, Captain. With respect, sir, we don't have time for secrets, Peters insisted. Commander Wright needs to know. Martinez sighed and entered a code into the computer. A new image appeared. A sleek spacecraft unlike any Natalie had seen before. Project Leap, Martinez explained. An experimental ship with our first attempt at faster-than-light travel. We've been building it in secret for 5 years. Natalie studied the image. It works. In theory, we've never tested it with a crew. But if it does work, Samuel said excitedly, we could intercept the aliens before they reach Earth. Martinez nodded. That's the idea. A small team could gather intelligence, maybe find weaknesses we can exploit, possibly even negotiate. Natalie saw where this was heading. You want me to lead this mission. You're our best commander, right? And you have experience with first contact protocols. Natalie thought of her family on Earth, her parents in Oregon, her brother and his kids. When do we leave? 2 weeks, Martinez answered. The ship is almost ready. You'll need a small crew, engineers, scientists, security. I volunteer, Samuel said immediately. Peters raised his hand too. Count me in. Natalie nodded at them, grateful but concerned. This is likely a one-way trip. You understand that? Both men nodded solemnly. For the next 2 weeks, they trained intensively at the secret lunar facility where the ship, now named Defiance, was being prepared. Natalie selected 3 more crew members. Dr. Amy Foster, a xenobiologist, Chief Engineer Paul Green, and Communications Specialist Jamal Harrison. The night before launch, Natalie recorded messages for her family, not knowing if they would ever be seen. She looked out the lunar base window at distant Earth, bright against the blackness of space. Ready for this? Samuel asked, joining her. No, she admitted, but we're out of options. Launch day arrived with little ceremony. The 6 crew members boarded Defiance as technical teams made final preparations. Remember, Martinez said during their final briefing, your primary mission is intelligence gathering. Find out what we're dealing with. If possible, find allies out there. We can't be the only species they've threatened. As Defiance cleared the lunar surface, Natalie took one last look at Earth through the view screen. Activating FTL drive in 3, 2, 1, Paul announced from the engine room. The stars stretched into lines of light, and humanity's first faster-than-light journey began, a desperate race to save their world. Captain Jack Collins gripped the command chair as the Defiance shuddered violently. Status report, he shouted over the blaring alarms. Lisa Powell, the science officer, worked frantically at her station. FTL drive is stable, but we're experiencing more turbulence than expected. We're moving through space at speeds no human has ever traveled. The experimental vessel Defiance was humanity's best hope, a ship built with technology that scientists had barely begun to understand. Much of it had been reverse-engineered from fragments of alien tech found buried in the New Mexico desert decades earlier. How long until we reach the coordinates? Jack asked, checking the ship's systems. 3 days, Captain, Lisa replied. Assuming we don't tear apart first. The 6-person crew settled into an uneasy routine as they traveled deeper into uncharted space. On the 2nd day, they detected something unexpected. "Captain, I'm picking up an energy signature," said Communications Officer Ethan Morris. "It's artificial and moving fast." Jack ordered battle stations. Humanity's first encounter with alien life couldn't be handled carelessly. "Object changing course," Lisa announced. "It's heading straight for us." "Weapons ready," Jack ordered. "But hold fire unless I command it." The view screen showed a small vessel, elegant and clearly more advanced than their own. It stopped at a distance, neither attacking nor fleeing. "They're sending a transmission," Ethan said. "The computer is translating. It's a greeting." The alien vessel belonged to a species called the Azuri. Through careful communication, Jack learned they too had encountered the Harvesters. Unlike Earth, which had received a warning, the Azuri's home planet had been attacked without notice. Only a small population had escaped. "Your world still stands," said Admiral Zara Vex, the Azuri commander, when they met aboard her ship. She was tall and slender with blue-tinted skin and eyes that seemed to glow. "You are fortunate." "We were warned," Jack explained. "We're trying to find a way to fight back." Zara's expression changed to something like respect. "Most species flee. You humans are different." She offered to bring them to a hidden base where survivors from various worlds had gathered. Jack agreed, hoping they might find allies. The Azuri base was built inside an asteroid, hidden from sensors by advanced technology. Inside, Jack's crew met representatives from 3 other species who had survived Harvester attacks. "We've been gathering intelligence and resources," Zara explained, showing them holomaps of Harvester movements. "But we lack the numbers for direct confrontation." Lisa studied the alien technology eagerly. "Their ships use quantum crystalline matrices for power," she told Jack. "Similar to what we were developing, but centuries more advanced." "Can we adapt any of this to help Earth?" Jack asked. "With their help, definitely." For 2 weeks, they worked with the Azuri engineers, modifying the Defiance with better shields and weapons. The aliens were impressed by human adaptability and determination. "Your species learns quickly," Zara told Jack. "Most take generations to understand these concepts." On their final night at the base, the Azuri shared disturbing news. The Harvester fleet had changed course, accelerating toward Earth faster than predicted. "They must have detected your ship's departure," Zara said. "They know you have technology you shouldn't possess." Jack called his crew together immediately. "We need to return home now. Earth needs to be warned." "The modifications to your drive should get you there faster," Zara said. "And we will follow with what forces we can gather." As they prepared to depart, Zara presented Jack with a small device. "This contains tactical data on Harvester weaknesses. Your scientists might find it useful." Jack accepted it gratefully. "Will you really come to Earth's aid?" "The Harvesters destroyed our worlds," Zara replied. "We fight not just for your people, but for justice. This is where we make our stand." The Defiance launched with its new upgrades, racing back toward Earth with crucial information and the promise of allies. For the first time since learning of the alien threat, Jack felt something like hope. Professor Benjamin Hayes walked quickly through the underground halls of Cambridge University's Special Research Facility. His heart raced with both excitement and fear. After 3 months of non-stop work, his team had made a discovery that could change humanity's chances against the alien threat. "Professor," called Dr. Eleanor Walsh as he entered the lab. "The results from the latest test are ready." Benjamin hurried to her side. On the screen, complex DNA sequences glowed with highlighted sections. His eyes widened as he studied them. "Are you sure about this?" he asked quietly. Eleanor nodded. "We've checked it 20 times. These dormant sequences exist in all human DNA samples we've tested. They're not mutations or errors. They're just inactive." Benjamin had first noticed the strange sequences while studying tissue samples from ancient human remains. What started as a historical research project had become humanity's most classified genetic program after the alien warning reached Earth. "And the activation process?" he asked. "The serum works," Eleanor confirmed. In lab samples, it triggers the dormant sequences without damaging the surrounding DNA. Benjamin stared at the results. His theory had been radical, that humans carried hidden genetic potential that had never been expressed. Now it seemed he was right. "We need volunteers for the first human trials," he said. The military had already prepared for this moment. Within hours, 2 soldiers arrived at the facility. Sergeant Eric Williams and Lieutenant Maria Rodriguez, both Special Forces operators who had volunteered knowing the risks. "You understand this is experimental," Benjamin explained as they sat in the briefing room. "We believe it will enhance your physical capabilities, but there could be side effects we can't predict." Eric nodded solemnly. "Sir, with all respect, the aliens will be here in 5 months. We need every advantage we can get." "I have family in Mexico City," Maria added. "I'll risk anything to protect them." The procedure took place in the facility's medical wing. Benjamin watched anxiously as the medical team administered the serum to both volunteers. For 3 days, Eric and Maria experienced high fevers as their bodies adjusted to the changes. On the 4th day, they awoke transformed. The results exceeded all expectations. Their strength had tripled. Their reflexes were faster than any humans should be. Their bodies healed at an astonishing rate. Most surprisingly, they could sense electromagnetic fields, an ability no one had predicted. "It's like I can feel electricity moving," Maria explained, her eyes closed as she pointed precisely to power lines behind walls. General Vincent Moore arrived to witness the results personally. He watched in amazement as Eric lifted a jeep with minimal effort. "How soon can we treat more soldiers?" the general asked. "We're producing more serum now," Benjamin replied. "But we need to monitor these 2 longer before expanding the program." That decision was taken out of their hands 3 days later when an alien scout ship was detected entering the solar system. It was disabled by Earth's new defense system, but crashed in northern Russia instead of being destroyed. A team was sent to investigate, with Eric and Maria joining as security. At the crash site, they made an unexpected discovery. "Professor Hayes," Maria reported over the secure channel, "the alien weapons don't affect us. They're energy beams. I can feel them coming and just move aside." And when one hit Eric, it barely burned him. Benjamin exchanged shocked looks with Eleanor. "The dormant DNA sequences, they must provide resistance to the aliens' technology. That's why they're coming for us," Eleanor whispered as realization dawned. "They're afraid of what we might become." The news spread quickly through military channels. The enhanced soldier program was immediately escalated to top priority. Training facilities were established worldwide as more volunteers stepped forward. For the first time since the warning came, humanity had found a natural advantage against their would-be destroyers. As Benjamin watched more soldiers receive the treatment, he wondered what other secrets might be hidden in human DNA, and why these abilities had remained dormant for so long. The massive view screen in Earth Defense Coalition headquarters showed the alien armada's position near Jupiter's orbit. General Catherine Chen studied the red dots with narrow eyes. Each dot represented a harvester ship. There were hundreds. "They'll reach Mars in 2 weeks," she said to the gathered leaders. "Our orbital defenses are ready, but we need more time." Since the alien warning had been received 7 months ago, Earth had undergone the greatest unified effort in human history. Old enemies became allies. Resources were shared. The planet's best minds worked together with a single purpose: survival. General Chen pointed to the holographic display. "Our enhanced soldiers are stationed at the lunar base and Mars outpost. Regular forces are manning the orbital platforms. All civilians have been moved to the underground shelters." President Laura Wilson nodded. "What about the Defiance? Any word?" "Nothing since they left our system," Chen replied. "We must assume they're not returning in time." The room fell silent until Engineer Adam Mitchell cleared his throat. "General, I have an update on the communication network." Adam, once a satellite systems designer from Australia, had been recruited to solve humanity's biggest communications problem. If Earth forces were dispersed throughout the solar system, they needed to coordinate instantly. "The quantum relay system is operational," he announced. "We've placed nodes on every planetary outpost and major ship. Messages now travel instantly between any connected points, regardless of distance." This news brought murmurs of approval. Traditional communications took minutes or hours to reach Mars or the outer planets. Adam's system changed everything. "Excellent," said Chen. "Begin distribution of the final communication devices to all command personnel." The meeting continued with reports from each division, but was interrupted when an officer burst into the room. "General, we're receiving a transmission from beyond Neptune." The view screen shifted to show a familiar face, Captain Jack Collins of the Defiance. "Earth Command, do you read me? We're returning with critical information and allies." Chen leaned forward. "Captain Collins, your timing is perfect. What's your status?" "We've made contact with other species who fought the Harvesters. They're sending ships to help. But more importantly, we've learned the Harvesters' weaknesses." The mood in the room shifted instantly from grim determination to cautious hope. 3 days later, the Defiance returned to Earth orbit, escorted by 7 ships of alien design. Admiral Zara Vex of the Azuri was welcomed at Coalition headquarters, where she met with Earth's leaders. "Your world is fortunate," she told them. "The Harvesters typically attack without warning. You had time to prepare." She displayed holographic images of Harvester ships and weapons. Their energy shields have a fluctuation pattern. If you time your attacks to this rhythm, you can penetrate their defenses. Science officer Lisa Powell, who had returned with the Defiance, added, "We've already adapted our weapons using this information, and with the enhanced soldiers' natural resistance to their technology, we have advantages they don't expect." As the meeting concluded, a technician reported new movement from the Harvester fleet. "They've increased speed," he announced. "New estimated arrival at Mars. 3 days." General Chen stood up. "Then we have work to do. Admiral Vex, your knowledge of their tactics is invaluable. Will you join our command team?" The blue-skinned alien nodded. "My people were nearly wiped out by these predators. I will help you avoid our fate." Around the solar system, humanity and their new allies made final preparations. Enhanced soldiers took positions on Mars and Europa. Regular forces manned the orbital platforms. Engineers worked frantically to modify Earth's defenses based on the new information. Adam Mitchell's communication system linked them all together, creating a unified defense network spanning billions of miles. In his workshop on the lunar base, Adam made final adjustments to the system. He looked up through the dome at Earth, beautiful and blue. "Hold on," he whispered. "Just hold on." The Harvester fleet approached Mars, their massive ships casting shadows on the red planet. The first battle for humanity's survival was about to begin. The sky above Mars turned bright with weapons fire as the Harvesters entered the orbit. Major Ryan Cooper watched from his command bunker as Earth's defense ships moved to intercept. "All units, hold positions until they're in range," Ryan ordered through his comlink. The enhanced soldiers under his command waited in strategic locations across the Martian surface. The Harvester ships were massive, each one larger than Earth's biggest cities. Their dark hulls absorbed light rather than reflected it, making them look like moving holes in space. "First wave approaching Mars defense line," reported Lieutenant Kim from the orbital station. Ryan took a deep breath. "Weapons free. Engage as planned." Earth ships launched their assault, targeting the weak points in the Harvester shields that Admiral Vex had identified. The modified weapons worked. Several alien vessels showed damage after the initial barrage, but the Harvesters responded with overwhelming force. Energy beams sliced through 3 human ships, vaporizing them instantly. "They're adapting to our attack pattern," warned Kim, changing their shield frequencies. The battle above Mars intensified as more Harvester ships arrived. Earth forces fought bravely, but were being pushed back. Then a new signal appeared on Ryan's screen. The Defiance had returned, leading a fleet of allied alien ships. This is Captain Collins. Coalition forces engaging from Sector 7. The unexpected attack from behind caught the Harvesters off guard. The combined Earth and alien fleet targeted the largest enemy vessels, focusing fire on their propulsion systems. Ryan's enhanced soldiers launched from the Martian surface in small, fast ships. They weaved through the battle, attacking with precision. Their ability to sense the alien energy weapons gave them a crucial advantage in the chaos. Major Cooper, "We've disabled 3 of their command ships," reported Sergeant Olivia Reed, leading the first squad, moving to support the coalition forces. For hours, the battle raged across the Martian orbit. Both sides took heavy losses. The space around the red planet became filled with debris from destroyed ships. Communications specialist Sofia Alvarez monitored enemy transmissions from her station on Phobos, Mars' moon. She had been studying Harvester communications since the first warning message months ago. "There's a pattern in their command signals," she told Ryan. "They use a specific frequency to coordinate their ships." "Can we disrupt it?" Ryan asked. Sofia worked feverishly at her console. "I think so. But we'll need to get closer to their command vessel." Ryan relayed this information to Captain Collins. The Defiance, though damaged, was the fastest ship in Earth's fleet. "We'll make the approach," Collins responded. "Send Sofia the frequency data." As the Defiance maneuvered toward the massive Harvester command ship, the aliens seemed to realize the danger. They broke off their attack on Mars and began to regroup. "They're forming a new formation," Admiral Vex warned. "This is the pattern they used before destroying my homeworld." A central sphere opened in the largest Harvester ship, revealing a weapon unlike any they had seen before. Energy began to gather, building to impossible levels. "It's their planet killer," Vex said, her voice tight with fear. "They're targeting Earth directly." The Defiance continued its approach, taking heavy fire. Collins knew they had only one chance. "Sofia, we're in position. Start the disruption now." From her station on Phobos, Sofia activated the signal. It broadcast on the exact frequency the Harvesters used for ship-to-ship coordination. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the energy gathering in the planet killer weapon faltered. Harvester ships began to drift, their movements uncoordinated. "It's working," Ryan shouted. "All forces, attack now." Earth ships and their allies pressed the advantage. Enhanced soldiers boarded disabled Harvester vessels. The tide of battle turned. Hours later, the remaining Harvester ships retreated, jumping to faster-than-light speed. The coalition forces had won, but at tremendous cost. Half of Earth's fleet was destroyed. Thousands of soldiers were dead or missing. As Ryan surveyed the aftermath from the Martian surface, he knew the war wasn't over. The Harvesters would return, perhaps with an even larger force. But humanity had proven something important. They could fight back. They could win. The rebuilt Earth orbital station gleamed in the sunlight as shuttles arrived from across the solar system and beyond. 1 year had passed since the Battle of Mars. 1 year since humanity had faced extinction and survived. Ambassador Julia Warren stood at the viewpoint window, watching Earth rotate below. The blue planet showed scars from Harvester attacks, dark patches where cities had once stood, new coastlines where weapons had changed the geography. But life continued. Humanity endured. "It's time, Ambassador," said her aide. Julia nodded and walked to the grand chamber where representatives from 27 species had gathered. Some looked almost human. Others were so alien that special environments had been created for them. All had suffered from the Harvesters. All had joined the coalition that finally defeated them. The final battle had come 3 months after Mars. The Harvesters had returned with a fleet 3 times larger than before. But this time, humanity was ready. Enhanced soldiers led boarding parties onto Harvester ships. Scientists had created weapons that targeted the aliens' specific vulnerabilities. The coalition of species fought together, sharing technologies and tactics. Victory had come at a terrible price. Billions dead across multiple worlds. Entire species reduced to a few thousand survivors. Earth's major cities destroyed. But the harvester threat was ended. Their leadership captured, their fleet scattered and hunted. Now the coalition gathered to discuss the future. Julia took her position at the center of the chamber. As Earth's representative, she would deliver humanity's message to the galaxy. Friends, allies, fellow survivors, she began. Today marks 1 year since our shared victory. 1 year since we proved that even the most powerful predators can be defeated when their prey stands together. She activated the holographic display, showing the captured harvester command ship. Earth scientists had spent months studying its technology. Using the harvester's own communication system, we can now broadcast across the galaxy. We can reach worlds they threatened, worlds they plan to harvest next. The alien representatives murmured in approval. Humanity proposes to send a message, Julia continued. A warning to any who would follow the harvester's path. A promise to those who seek alliance. She pressed a button, and the chamber's screens displayed the message that would be broadcast. This is Earth, speaking for the coalition of free worlds. The species known as harvesters has been defeated. Their technology has been claimed by those they sought to destroy. Their methods have been studied. Their weaknesses are known. To any civilization that values conquest over cooperation, the fate of the harvesters awaits you. Earth and its allies will defend our right to exist with all necessary force. To those who seek peaceful exchange, we welcome you. Together we are stronger than any threat. This is humanity's promise and warning. Never again will our worlds burn. Never again will our children live in fear. The cosmos burns bright with life, and we will ensure it remains so. When Julia finished, silence filled the chamber. Then, one by one, the alien representatives stood in approval. Admiral Zaravex, representing the Azuri, spoke first. My species lost our homeworld to the harvesters. We drifted for generations, hiding in the darkness between stars. Now we stand with humanity, ready to rebuild and defend. Others voiced similar sentiments. The coalition that formed in desperate defense would continue in peace. Later that day, Julia activated the transmission. Using the harvester's own technology, modified by Earth engineers, the message spread across the galaxy at speeds previously thought impossible. As the transmission ended, Julia returned to the viewpoint window. Earth continued its rotation, damaged but healing. Humans worked alongside alien allies, rebuilding cities, incorporating new technologies, planning for a future among the stars. Do you think anyone will challenge us after this? Asked her aide. Julia watched as a coalition ship, built with combined technologies from 7 worlds, departed on a mission to establish an early warning outpost. Perhaps, she replied, but they'll find us ready, and they'll find us together. Across the galaxy, civilizations received Earth's message. Some trembled, others rejoiced. All understood. Humanity had claimed its place among the stars, and the cosmos had gained both a fierce defender and a valuable friend. 5 years after Earth's warning message spread across the galaxy, a new era had begun. Humanity no longer looked at the stars with wonder alone, but with confidence. The scars of the Harvester War remained, but so did the lessons learned from it. Dr. Stephen Miller stood on the observation deck of the Harmony Station, the largest space habitat ever built by human hands. Around him, members of 6 different alien species moved about their business. What once seemed impossible, working side by side with beings from other worlds, was now daily life. Quite a view, isn't it? Asked Leela, a young engineer whose parents had been enhanced soldiers during the war. Stephen nodded. Below them, Earth was partly in shadow, its night side glittering with city lights. Some were old human cities rebuilt. Others were new settlements established by refugee species who had lost their homeworlds. I remember when we thought we were alone in the universe, Stephen said. Now look at us. As head of the Interspecies Medical Exchange, Stephen worked to combine healing practices from across the coalition. The medical breakthroughs that resulted had extended human lifespans by decades already. Ambassador Warren is arriving, Leela said, checking her communicator. The ceremony starts in an hour. Today marked the launch of humanity's first true interstellar colony ship. Not a military vessel or exploration craft, but a ship carrying 10,000 colonists, human and alien alike, to a new world 50 light-years away. Stephen made his way to the launch bay where crowds had gathered. The colony ship Genesis filled the massive chamber, its sleek design incorporating technologies from multiple coalition species. Ambassador Julia Warren, now showing gray in her hair but still commanding respect, took the podium. 5 years ago, we sent a message to the stars, a warning to those who would threaten peace, a welcome to those who would join us in building something better. Today, we take another step forward, not as conquerors, not as refugees, but as explorers and settlers. The crowd applauded as the colony's leaders joined her on stage. Commander Alan Foster would lead the human contingent. Beside him stood representatives from each allied species joining the mission. The Genesis carries the best of all our worlds, Julia continued. Our knowledge, our cultures, our hopes. The planet Novo awaits, rich with resources but lacking intelligent life. There, our coalition will build something unprecedented, a world shared by all our peoples from the beginning. Stephen watched with pride. His daughter Nina was among the colonists, serving as a xenobiologist. The journey would take 3 years even with the improved FTL drives. Communication would be possible but limited. As the ceremony concluded, an alert sounded on Stephen's communicator, a priority message from the early warning network that monitored deep space. Unidentified vessels detected at system edge. The message read, "Configuration unknown, not harvester design." Stephen's heart raced as he made his way to the command center. There, Admiral Rachel Cooper was already studying the sensor readings. 7 ships, she said when she saw Stephen. Larger than anything in our fleet. They appeared suddenly at the heliopause and are holding position. Hostile? Stephen asked. Unknown. They're not approaching, not transmitting. Just watching. Coalition defense ships were already moving to intercept positions, but kept their distance. No one wanted another war. After an hour of tense waiting, the unknown vessels transmitted a simple message in multiple formats. The coalition's translation systems worked quickly. We received your warning. We come to speak, not conquer. Your victory over the harvesters has interested us. May we approach? Admiral Cooper consulted with Earth Command and coalition leaders before responding. Approach slowly. 1 vessel only. We will meet. Stephen watched the monitors as one massive ship separated from the others and moved toward Earth. Whatever these beings were, they had received humanity's message and chosen diplomacy over confrontation. It seems our warning worked, Admiral Cooper said quietly. Stephen nodded. Or maybe it was the invitation part they responded to. Either way, humanity faced this new contact not as vulnerable prey, but as the defenders of a united coalition. The stars had heard humanity's voice, and now they were answering back.